Welcome again to Family Dynamics with Bola. I know on the previous episode we talked about when your child prefers your spouse to you, what do you do? I'd like to share a story with you of something that really happened to me over the week. But before I share the story, let me tell you what we're going to be talking about today. What do you do when your kids, when they play you against your spouse? I don't know if that has ever happened to you when you tell your child no, only to find out that they actually went to your spouse for a yes because they know what they need to do. You know, kids are incredibly smart at figuring out how to get their way. So today I will be talking about how we can divide and conquer as parents. But before I go into that, let me tell you what happened to me. So over the week, what we talked about last week played out. We were going to celebrate my husband's birthday, and if you see how the kids were all over the place trying to set up a surprise and all that, I had to remember the things that I said, and I took everything into consideration. I'm like, I need to be able to listen to myself, right? And that's what happened, right? These things, we're not immune to them, because sometimes you see that you feel like, I'm gonna be okay and all that. But then it happens to you, you're like, oh gosh, it's not as easy as I think it would be. So if your child prefers your spouse to you, I can really empathize, because it did happen to me and it was just a stinker, right? But I realized that it's all about divide and conquer. At least they prefer one person and we are on the same team. All right, so okay, let's go to our topic for today. I just wanted to share that because I'm like, what a timely time to see how much those kiddos can just really help us as parents to some of these things and just really smile. Right. Okay. So today, what do we do when our kids try to play us against ourselves? How do we stay united as a couple? Right. And different things that they use. They can say, well, they can use the mom said no, but dad said yes trick. So don't fall for it. They can use who is the fun parent, depending on how old they are, who is the fun parent strategy. Maybe you're the one who enforced the rule, and then your spouse is the one who just, take them out for ice cream and all that, which, they would naturally gravitate towards that. That's okay. And they can use the guilt game approach. So we would not let them do that to us. So I'll just quickly run through some of the signs that when your child do this, you will know that they're trying to play you against your spouse, and then you will just smile, knowing fully well that you and your spouse, you're on the same team and all that. So if they are constantly asking one person, one parent, for permission to do something, they're trying to play you against your spouse. If they complain about your spouse to you, hoping to get their sympathy, especially teenagers, yeah, they're trying to play you against your spouse. If they act differently around you as they would around your spouse, they are trying to do that. And if they exaggerate their stories just to get a response from one person, they're trying to play you. So, as parents, what are some of the things that we could actually do? At one point or another, we might find our children doing this because they're still trying to learn the ropes. They're trying to find their own foot, especially if you have strong, opinionated, assertive kids. You're going to see this. So, the first thing we might be able to do as parents in order for us to align and stay united is one thing that we do is create a check first rule. Before you give an answer, always ask them, what did mom say? I'll share a story with you. So I would usually not allow my kids to have soda, right? And one day I saw they asked me, and I said no. It's not like they don't ever have soda. It's just that I don't let them have it as often as they would love to, right? And so they asked me, it was a Sunday. And I was like, no. Guess what? They went ahead to ask their dad. And he said yes. And I didn't know that. They made sure I wasn't there. And then before you know it, I saw soda in their hands. I was livid. I'm like, who? They said, Daddy said yes. And so that taught us a lesson. I'm like, Daddy, if you're going to have them do anything, ask them, what did mommy say? Because I probably already said no or yes or something. But this uh, will teach your child consistency. It will let them know that we're all on the same page. It's really important. That check first rule, really, really key. And another thing we could do is we'll just make sure we have some non negotiable family rules. Kids already know that homework, screen time, if they ask for an exception, which sometimes we could, both of you as parents would have to agree before you make changes. There's some non-negotiable family rules. There's some that they are negotiable, right? And then we want to use the same team language. We want to use a unifying language. So if your child asks you for something, can instead of you saying that's your dad's rule, it's not mine. No, you might say, here in this house, we all follow the same rule. Or dad and I have decided on this one together. This would help kids to see that you're unified, you're on the same team. Even if you have to now go back and tell your spouse, like, I already said this. And it's really important for us as parents to have this private parent meetings to just talk about things. It's really key. Presenting a united front in front of them. And one last thing I'd like to talk about is it's really important for us to teach our children honest communication so that we don't encourage them to have this sneaky behavior and all that. We want to encourage them to speak openly about what they want. They might get a yes, they might get a no. They don't have to talk to you or your spouse separately. Let them be able to talk to you, together. And then as parents, will now reward that honesty over manipulations, right? It's really key. And then on a final thought, I want you to know that your child is not trying to hurt you. They are just testing your boundaries. So, your best thing you can give to them is the security of knowing that their parents are on the same team. When you stay united, your child learns consistency, they learn respect, and they learn trust. Thank you so much for listening. This is Family Dynamics with Bola.